Hey y'all, happy Friday. So y'all know it's mental health awareness month. So today what I want to talk about, a tool that I've used to get out of depression. So like writing myself out of depression. So writing is an amazing tool that you can use when it comes to like your mental health, because writing is like a way to express yourself and release things that um you may not have known was there. Like it helps you to just like literally like release the things that you holding in, because sometimes you may not want to talk to somebody, you may not have nobody to talk to, but when you write, you're literally getting out of your mind. Like you get it on paper, and it's not necessarily that you're writing like to write a letter to give to somebody or write something that somebody else was going to read. The purpose of writing is to release it from your soul, release it from your heart, release it from your mind, so you can assess it. Because once you get it out on paper, you can like evaluate it, look at it, and see like, okay, what's really the problem? You know what I mean? So like writing is an amazing tool. Like I literally, when I say wrote myself out of depression, like back in, what was it, 20, it was like a long depression too. And the crazy part is, I wrote myself out once I realized that I was depressed. I didn't even know that I was depressed. I didn't know. For me, I ignored things instead of like addressing it. I guess you say my coping mechanism was to ignore it. So I didn't even realize that I was depressed. So the first thing I would say is to become aware of the issue. It might be depression, it might be fear, it might be anxiety. Like a lot of different things. So the first thing is becoming aware. And then once you become aware, then you could be proactive on like getting to the problem and creating a solution. So I hope y'all can hear me, because I got my windows open. It's a nice little breeze out here. But the cars is flying. But so yeah, writing is an amazing tool. So my depression, it lasted for a minute, because it was like right after my dad had, well, I didn't know I was depressed. But once my dad died, that's when everything kind of hit the fan. So like everything I was dealing with, because at the point before he died, I was his caretaker. So I took care of him. I had to handle all of that stuff, and I had just had Haley. So it was a lot going on. So I really didn't even have the time to process that I was depressed, for one. So once I processed that and I began to like be intentional on working on it, writing became one of my things. It's a number of other tools. Y'all have to join the challenge to find out the other ones. But writing is an amazing one. And because I was just like, okay, God, like, what's up? So once my dad died, that's when like everything kind of stopped. And it all hit me because I wasn't busy being busy. I had to deal with it. Like I was running and running. But once he died, and then once he died, the engine of my car went out too. So I really had no choice but to sit with myself, which made me to deal with it. And what ended up happening is I began to build a relationship with God again, because my mind was all over the place. Like I said, I had just had my baby. My life was already jacked up before all of that. I was in a toxic, abusive relationship, living with this person. And then also, like, just got finished taking care of my daddy, dealing with his other kids and whatnot, and that drama and getting bullied and stuff like that. And then obviously his death. Not only dealing with his death, like physical death, but also planning a funeral, doing all his estate stuff once he's dead, because I was his power of attorney as well. So it was just a lot going on at one time. That's all. It was a lot going on. And once all of that stuff happened, he died. So I didn't have that responsibility no more, because that was a heavy responsibility. He was in and out of hospitals, in and out of rehab. So I had to, I'm visiting, doing that stuff, paperwork, insurance stuff. He still had a house, apartment at the time, that stuff, car, like just everything. So I was just always busy. And then when I come home, I got my newborn baby. So that's a whole other story. So it was a lot going on. So I really didn't have the time to sit with myself, because I was always running. But once he died, then my car messed up. God was like, you keep playing with me, we go shut it down. And that's what happened. So in that season, once I became aware that I was depressed, I was like, okay, God. And I was financially broke too, because that's when the pandemic kind of started. And like I said, I didn't have a car. It was a whole bunch of stuff. But I'm okay, God, like, what's in my hand? What do you want from me? That's kind of like my conversation was. And So what ended up happening is I began to start to take care of my health again, you know, working out, and like I said, writing, personal development, start reading books, and those things help as well. And then, okay, God, like, what is in my hands? Like, what is my purpose? Because, like, now we moved into the pandemic. So, you know, everybody shut down anyway. And I end up, you know, like, write a book. Mind you, I didn't like writing back then, just because I just didn't have proper English and grammar and stuff like that. Like, that wasn't my thing. So I just avoid writing. Like, I hated writing the essay questions in school. I hated, please explain your answer. I don't want to explain it more than 2 or 3 sentences. I hated that. So for me to sit there like, okay, yeah, right. I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. So I ended up writing anyway. So I started to write. I originally go write like a kid's book, and then I ended up writing something else. Now, when I say write yourself out of depression, you don't necessarily have to write a book that you're going to publish. I did, but I also like journal too. So just writing in general. But what I will tell you is when you start writing, and you can be honest with yourself when you're writing. Sometimes we just don't be honest with ourselves. But when you write, it's not like you have to tell somebody. It's not like somebody else has to read this so you can like release everything, stuff that nobody know. Like, and it helps you once you release it. You see it on paper, and it's like, that was the problem the whole time. But like, when it's in your mind, it's so much confusion going on. You can't process or analyze anything. So that's when I say writing. But for me, my writing became a book, which was not my plan. So I ended up writing this book, and I was writing this book as I was like coming out of it and dealing with this stuff. So I ended up, this wasn't what I was gonna write about. Like, this would be a kid's book. God had a whole nother plan. He just wanted me to agree to writing, because I didn't care for it. I didn't want to do it. So he just wanted me to agree to writing. So once I did that, I ended up starting writing this book. But what I didn't realize is once I started writing this book, so many things came out of me that I didn't even know was in me. Things I forgot about, things I had buried, like, and it was like a release. When I finished this book, it was just like I can breathe now. And I was just, I don't know, I just felt so relieved and tired. So like after I completely finished the book, I rested for like a couple of days or whatever. And I didn't realize it was so much in me that I was carrying. So like when you write, it releases things, and it takes that weight that you're carrying. Because a lot of times we carry so much, and we're not even intentionally knowing that we're doing it. But like the regrets of maybe parenting, or things you did when you were younger, you know, things that happened in your childhood, things that happen day to day, things at work, all of this stuff you carrying, and you collecting, but you're not releasing. And after a while, that's how you get depressed. That's how anxiety happens, because it's so much in your brain, so much in your heart, so much in your soul. And it's like, look, I need some space, I need some room. Just like if you go in a house that's cluttered, stuff is everywhere, don't bring nothing else in this house until you get stuff out. You have no room for nothing else. And that's just like how I feel with writing. It helps you to release, so you're able to get the negative out, get the doubt out, get the fear out, get the things that the shame out, get all of that stuff out, and then you can receive the positive stuff. You can receive the things that you're supposed to get. So when writing, it's amazing too. So this is what I want to do. I want to challenge you to start. If you don't already, start writing. And I'm not saying you have to write and publish a book. That was my thing. That's what God told me to do. So that's what I did. But I want you to get a journal, a specific journal for you to journal, a notebook for you to journal in, only for that. And even in the morning, just like a brain dump. Even if you don't have like nothing, like you feel like you don't have nothing to write about, just anything that pops into your mind, just write to get it out your mind. That's what I want you to do. Write like a brain dump in the morning or at night. Just get whatever's in your mind, get it out. I'm telling you, it's just like your brain, like, thank you for clearing us some space so we can get some things done. Because a lot of time what I realize is we depressed and stuff like that because we still hold on to so much stuff that happened. We focus on what we in, we focusing on the negative, we focus on the situation that we in right now. And it's like sometimes your solution, all the time the solution is in front of you, but if you're not looking at it, or you too distracted or too blinded with other stuff, you're not going to see it. So like for me, my solution was with me. Like when I was going through all that stuff, like I said, the death of my daddy, the bullying and all that foolishness from technically my siblings, like after his, like during his death and stuff like that. Like I said, Haley, that's a traumatic event. Having a baby, ooh, that's a whole nother story for another day. But that, and like I said, my life already wasn't on track. I was in this relationship that was toxic, like shacking up, all of that. So dealing with all of that, and it wasn't no release because I just was taking it. I'm like, I got stuff to do. I gotta take care of my daddy. I gotta take care of Haley. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. And I just didn't sit down and take care of me. And once I did, I was like, I got a lot of stuff, and I didn't realize it was so much. So when I ended up releasing everything and writing this book, which helped me, then like when people were there, like, dang, you was dealing with all of that. I'm like, I didn't even realize it was that bad. Like I didn't realize it was a lot until, you know, you right. It's like when you deal with it, you get desensitized to it, so you don't really know, like, this is a lot. Like you might need to talk to somebody. You might need to get some help. You might need to say something, because I was just so used to all of this at one time. So that's what I want to challenge you to do, is to write. Like I said, get a blank notebook. Don't get one that you've been writing random stuff, and get you a blank notebook specifically for you to journal. And like I said, it doesn't have to be hard. Just take 5 minutes and just brain dump. Anything that's in your brain, just let it out. Or like if you're having a bad day and it's like, whatever you would like, or you mad. I might bet another one. You mad at somebody, there's a situation that's just got you heated. Instead of you saying these things out loud, instead of you saying these things to this person and getting frustrated, I want you to sit down and write them a letter. Now, the kicker is you're not going to give them the letter. The purpose of it is to release it out of you. Say whatever you want to say. I mean, you can go ham like whatever you want to say, but you're not giving this letter to them. You can tear it up when you get finished. The purpose is getting it out so you can release that stuff and analyze it. So that's what I'm challenging y'all to do, right? Like I said, you can write yourself out of anything, and then also when you're writing, it helps your brain to get things organized, get things, and create solutions. But like if you just keep it bottled up, it's not good. I'll tell y'all that. So when writing this book, it wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna go tell my story. It's like, no, I want to help y'all. So like the book is about breaking the cycle of depression, addiction, and brokenness. And what I realized is all of that stuff stems from low self-esteem, like, and trauma. So it's like once you get to the root of the problem, and you cure the root of the problem, all the other stuff is just extra. So it's like, yeah, you might be going through depression. Yeah, you might be going through addiction. Yeah, you might be dealing with whatever, brokenness, heartache, trauma, drama, toxic, all that stuff. Yes, that might be the side effects of what you're dealing with, but the root of it might be because you had low self-esteem. You didn't value yourself enough to create boundaries so you don't be in these situations. You didn't value yourself where you're not about to treat me like this, and you allow things. And that's what I realized. Like a lot of the stuff that we haven't healed from, stuff we haven't released, stuff we haven't even became aware of. And once you become aware of it, then you can fix it. So a lot of times we don't even know that we the issue. We just like, it's their fault. They treat me bad. Like I could say with my past relationship, I could say, oh yeah, technically it was some stuff I could blame on him. I really could, because it's like things he did that was malicious. He, manipulation, and intentionally did things. But at the end of the day, if I value myself, I wouldn't even talk to that person. Period. I wouldn't even allow that to happen for so long. Period. So that's why I want you to write, so you can get to the root of the problem and see what it is so you can get better. So that's my challenge for you, is to write. But also, if you're dealing with it and you need some help with writing, I have a devotional. That's the one that I wrote that I was talking about. Breaking the cycle of depression, brokenness, and addiction. Baby, it's a little bit of my story, but it's actually something for you to do. Like it's a you can say guided journal. And it helps you. It has definitions, and like it explains things so you can truly get an understanding of the problem so you can move forward. So if you want to get your copy, they are available. You can go to jamiegivens.com or click the link in my bio and you can get it. Yeah, it's a good book, and it's a short read. It's not even that many pages. Like it's literally like a workbook, like kind of. It's like a guided journal. So Like, you want to get your copy, JamieGivens.com. And that's it. That's all I got for y'all. Go and get your copy. It's really gonna help you though, but you have to do the work though. Like, it's only gonna help you if you do the work. So that's what I'm gonna say. Hope you have an amazing day. This Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Yeah, no, I'll be back on here again. And don't forget, May 24th through the 28th is the Take Back Your Mind 5-day challenge. So if you have not signed up, you also can go to JamieGivens.com and sign up, or click the link in the bio. I'm excited. I can't, yeah, I'm telling you. And I made a workbook that y'all can purchase if you want to do, you know what I'm saying? You actually want to do the work. So like the workbook, I have the 5-day stuff, but also have stuff after that. So you like beyond the 5-day challenge. So you can really get the work in and really take back your mind and protect your peace. Because baby, if you ain't got your peace, you ain't doing nothing. Have a good day. I'm going to see y'all on the challenge.